Engineering, I'm not good at calculus, one or two, and I can't do it. I want to create something that will live beyond me. I've been very disciplined. I live with my dad until I own my own house.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of Life Stories with Winda. Today, we are at the amazing Marafiki Center with none other than one of my best friends. We've known each other for about 9 years, and I've seen this guy go from level to level to level, and I think he has an amazing story. Tell us about this place first.
Marafiki Center is a non-profit here in Lexington that I started in 2019. And, it was born just out of the need of representation and advocacy for a community.
Wow.
And if you're not familiar with Lexington, Lexington is a growing, city with a lot of number of Congolese and Swahili speakers. So we found a need to, find something for ourselves, represent our people, and build a community.
Bro, that's inspiring, man. You've gone from having an organization like this helping you out when you first got here to actually founding and running an organization like this. But before we get ahead of ourselves here, I want you to just introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, and summarize, kind of like if you were to summarize an introduction of who you are.
Yeah, but my name is Elisha Mutayongwa, and my middle name is Chito because I have a twin brother. I'm born in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I live in Uganda as a refugee, and then we settled in Lexington. For the past 10 years, been maybe 10 years plus. If I could summarize my journey, I could tell you I didn't have an idea what I'm either gonna turn out, because all my aspirational dreams were something else. Or I want to be an engineer or a nursing school. So where I am right now, it wasn't in the trajectory of my schooling, but deep down in myself, I've always had the passion of helping and supporting and tell my story, and also, tell the story of other people that are in Lexington.
Yeah.
So I think it was existing in my core values, but I never knew that, it ended up being something that I would do.
What was your initial thought of what your life was going to be when you first got here?
So when I first got here, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I think I was kind of confused a little bit. But then, when you include confusion, but that dedication, knowing that I have a chance of life.
Yeah.
I have another chance in life, compared to where we've come from, the struggle, the pain that we've endured, the journey of life, how difficult it has been.
Yeah.
So I was so open to just just another chance.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, even though in high school, college, I would do full-time job while I'm in school.
Yeah.
Because those are the things I needed to do at the time.
Yeah.
And I will make sure I manage my money well, even during that time, because those are the things that, those are the hustle I knew at the time.
Yeah.
If I need another change, I need to get school and work. That was it.
Talk to me about the struggle. You say coming from the struggle that you came from, what are some of the struggles that you feel like you experienced initially when you first got here?
Yeah, I think for our viewers and people, regular person, when you hear about refugee life, everybody has a different story.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of us have a very different story. Living in Uganda was a little bit of tough, and as a young kid, we're trying to figure out what is this about life where you live in one bedroom apartment with all your family.
With all your family, you gotta be specific. How many people though? How many people in that one bedroom apartment? 10 people?
We total 7 kids.
Wow.
Plus mom and dad. Wow. So that means we have to fit everything underneath the bedroom.
Really?
And then we have a curtain on where dad and mom sleep. So
wow.
So once the curtain closed, that's where that's their private room, okay? And then we fit everything under the bed, and then we sleep on the floor.
Man, that's actually a little bit similar to how I grew up. We used to have a curtain, and then I would sleep on the other side. It's kind of similar.
Yeah.
So now you're in America. You have this new opportunities. You have this new life.
Yeah.
You said you're confused, but you still have the awareness that there's an opportunity here to succeed.
Yeah, and then again, when you talk about the opportunity to succeed, I still didn't have enough clue. That means I didn't have no connections. I didn't have a family that have resources. I didn't have a dad that have means and connections.
Yeah.
So this opportunity, but
you still
it's from you gotta figure it out by yourself.
Yeah.
You have to figure all that out by yourself.
When was the time that you actually you had a let's so to speak a light bulb moment of this is who I am and this is the type of life I want to live. Like from that time to how that led to you getting to this place now.
And so I think it's a tremendous experience and life experience that I went through. I think when I was in high school, I didn't worry about anything. When I was graduating high school, I was scared because I was like, man, what am I gonna do? Okay, so I ended up making a decision about going to Mississippi Community College because I was like, I can't go anywhere else apart from home. I have to stay home so I can also be able to support home.
Yes.
You know?
But anywhere else, you mean like college, right?
Yeah. Okay. So college, I don't want to go to like outside, because there's no means, but also, the family rely on me to provide. Yeah. So it was like, well, community college would be the best thing. Yes. But even then I'm navigating, trying to figure out, hey, my first idea was like, engineering because my best friend was doing engineering, but then I noticed I don't have the brain for that, right? And then, and then he went to, nursing school, attempting nursing school, beyond that, going to a Bible college in Minnesota, so, I think what I've noticed, what I end up making, lifeblood were you talking about? Like, the failures.
The failures.
Yes.
You're saying failures plural, like a lot of failures.
Yes, I think failures because I hate the whole so many times. Engineering, bro, I noticed, bro, I'm not good in, calculus 1 or 2. Nah, I can't do it. So that was the first one. I was like, nah, this gotta go. Yeah. Okay. And so then I was like, okay, maybe nursing school. Because back then I was like, well, I'm very good. People are like work with people, but then you find out a lot of, immigrants end up going nursing, because, it's hospitality work, and we good with, giving service. Yeah. So, let me do nursing, which wasn't bad. Yeah. I ended up working in a nursing home as a nursing aide for 2 years. Yeah. But my experience to Minnesota was also a failure, because, hey, Bible college, because I was very committed Christian, I went to Bible school. But that was another story of failure.
Man, I forgot you went to Bible school.
Yeah.
Actually, you did actually go to Bible school.
But then that was a risk move. Dude. Because I left everything in Lexington. I left everything. I'm going into Minnesota. And that time, I was watching Steve Harvey. And Steve Harvey was like, well, it's get a moment where you got to jump. Yeah. So I knew like maybe my jumping for me is to go away. Yeah. And so I saved money. I was working everything I could and I jumped, went to Minnesota.
Wow.
Yeah. So that, another failure. I had a job, and which I ended up getting fired for, for some things that, and then I had to hire a lawyer.
Wow.
But all doing the process of like, hey, let me find a lawyer, let me find, because, and then find out, I ended up winning the case. But I've already wasted time. I didn't have enough time to focus.
You don't get that time back, yeah?
Yeah. So then I was like, you know what, maybe this is a time aside for me to at least change of scenery.
Okay. So you came back to Lexington from Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I remember you and I going to Qdoba. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
It was like a day after you came back, or like 2 weeks, and we were talking about.
Yeah.
Man, that was a long time ago.
But then
it feels like a long time ago.
I think coming from Minnesota was the lowest I've ever been in life.
Yeah. No, for sure.
The lowest of the lowest. Yeah. I think then, I came back a little bit more depressed. I came back a little bit, life was just throwing me every rocks.
Wow.
And then, I think it was like 2016-ish.
Yeah.
2016.
So around that time, yeah.
2017, I was trying to catch my back up, a little bit. And then we ended up losing my brother in 2020. So I think all those failures and tremendous experience kind of kept pushing me towards, what I'm today.
So what was the turning point? 2020? So was 2020 the turning point? You're like, okay, this is it?
So 2019 was the turning point.
Okay.
2016, I was a little bit depressed, sitting on the, sleeping on the couch, crying, like 2017, I try and pull out myself from the, and then I start working in a nursing home.
Wow.
Because I'm like, if I'm going to go back to nursing school, I need to have a nursing assistant, diploma.
Diploma, yeah.
So, taking that class was painful because I was just, still having those pain that I was going through. So I took the diploma, I worked in a nursing home, and then it became my whole life. I breathed, I lived nursing home because I was working hours and hours. 2019 was a turning point. because I quit a nursing home job. All my nursing home money, I invested in my first house.
Wow.
And then after I invested in my first house, that's when I quit the nursing home.
Wow.
That was the turning point.
And fast forward, you started Marafiki. Where did this idea come from to start Marafiki? Was that something that just came to you? Was it through a need that you saw that needed to be solved?
So I think even when before I moved to Minnesota, I was passionate because I would go to like KRM events and I would speak about my journey.
Yeah.
Talk about my refugee experience. I'll talk about like my experience as a student, what challenges I've been facing. So I've been to a lot of events where either talking about my journey and all that stuff. But people ask me question, what can we do? People are willing to help. Specifically, there was one event we went to, and that event we cooked food. We prepared, I invited my mom, my stepmom, my dad, and a couple people in the community.
Yeah.
So we prepared food, and then after telling the story and my life, and everybody presents a little bit, told them about Congo, somebody asked, like, what can we do? And that time, the only thing I knew is like, hey, you can support KRM because KRM, is doing a lot of great work, or you can support some of their, organization, that are supporting, things back home.
Yeah.
So, and I named a few of them. But when I went home, it just kept battling me because I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Because that question came back to me. But, in life where you have an idea and you talk about it so long, but it never happened, because every time you talk about it, you feel good about yourself and then you sleep on it.
Yeah, you actually don't put the work to make it happen.
You don't put the work to it. Yeah. Because I even remember one time we were in your house.
Yeah.
Back here.
On Red and Cross.
Yeah. And I was telling you, man, maybe I want to put you together.
Yeah.
I want to put a plan, we talked about it. And you're like, man, you just need to write it all down, sit down, write
I told you that?
Yeah.
So wise.
You told me like, write everything down, make sure you know everything, So, but that's been a while. I just been talking about this idea. I want to bring community. I want to try this. I want to do this. Because we kind of have some type of youth thing going on with our friends.
Yeah.
And we meet every day. We hang out. But I wanted to grow with that.
Yeah.
But 2019 was like, this is it. Like
to get to a place where you have an office and you have staff, you have to start somewhere. So what was the genesis of that? What was the first Marafiki?
So the first Marafiki, it was library on North Side.
What did you guys do there?
So
because I had moved by that time. I don't think I was here.
The library North Side, I called the library. I was like, hey, I'm going to reserve a space. We're going to bring kids and we're going to teach them Swahili. The idea was like, okay, if I'm going to do something, where can I start?
Yeah.
But I noticed like one of the biggest challenge we have here is maintaining our culture.
Yes.
I feel like the most important thing for me, in my whole experience in America, even what I've gained, what I've, what the success I've gained, the culture component of where like who you are, the core value of who you are as a person, and us as African, we not connected to the motherland directly, but the only little we have is either our family or our parents, but then we our circle is smaller because we are, it's not a very tight community. We everywhere around Lexington, so we don't get to hang out a lot.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, these kids, if I'm facing that, the kids are facing the same thing.
Wow. And so you saw a need.
Yeah.
And basically you wanted to solve the same problem that you had experienced.
Yeah. Because I'm like, when we meet, we talk Swahili. We speak Swahili and all that stuff. But when you go to our family house, right?
Yeah.
And you see kids speaking English and I'm like, no, why? You know what I mean? Like they're going to be here for 40 years.
Speaking of that, I was actually tempted to have us speak Swahili in this interview, but I wanted us to reach a broader audience. So I was like, you know what, let's just speak English.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind, but those are the things I was thinking. Because I was like, if we facing this, for us, we can maintain it.
Yeah.
Because we have a close circle that we speak Swahili with, we still have those. We came not too young, we still have a little core value from home. A lot of these kids either born in a refugee camp, or they are born here, so they don't have enough connection to the fight. So Marafiki Center was just their connection to their home.
So you had the first event at the library.
Yeah.
What was the reception?
So we had like almost around 40 kids.
40 kids for the first round.
For the first round.
Wow. Was that shocking to you?
So it was shocking, but then I knew we have a lot of family.
Yeah.
And if we would have opened it up, and we have a better structure, we can hit 100.
Wow.
Right now we run at 85 kids, but still we have to turn a lot of kids away.
Yeah.
And we have to do registration now and all this stuff. We've been working for almost 5 years. We've never done open registration until last year.
Wow.
It's always been like going door to door recruiting.
Okay.
Because I'm always afraid if I open up to the whole community, Lexington, we don't have the capacity.
The capacity to sustain that.
Yeah, we don't have the capacity. So I started with people that know, not those. Located in the neighborhood, the most kids are close to the library, and that's how we started.
Wow. So how did that first meeting at the library grow to this?
So the first meeting in the library was very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I didn't know like in terms of like running an organization, running a summer camp.
Yeah.
The only thing I had in mind when I was a kid back home in Congo, we used to do a thing called Colonie de Vacances. Colonie de Vacances is exactly summer camp.
Oh, wow. So it's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, and then it was run by the priest, the Catholic priest. So the Colonie de Vacances will go, will play games and watch movies. It was as simple as that.
And just hang out.
Just hang out.
Yeah.
Like instead of kids being on the streets, you have nothing to do, we used to do Colonie de Vacances. I went to the Colonie de Vacances maybe once or twice. And it was a big cinema place. They put big screen movies. We watched some favorite movie there as kids, but then we never had food. We never have, you have to go back home around 12 to eat and all that stuff. That's the only thing I knew about summer camp.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, where can we find place, food, and teachers? And then we'll come up with games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so awesome. So right now, fast forward, it is 2024. Don't know when people are going to be watching this, maybe in the next 10 years or so. Right now we're in 2024. So what programs do you guys run? So
we do have several programs. But in 2019, when we started, we didn't have any means. We didn't have any resources.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest resources we had is the community.
Yes.
I think I was bold enough to knock doors.
Yeah.
Go to the library, hey, we're going to do this. They have no idea how it's going to be run.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, cool. And then the first year, they're like, well, we can't have you guys anymore. It's too many kids, too loud.
At the library,
at the library.
Yeah.
So we have to find another place.
Okay.
So they didn't know what to expect. Yeah. So for this couple of years, we've always been
just moving everywhere.
Because until a place that give us a space, they're like, hey, well, it actually 85 kids allowed,
Yeah.
I don't think you fit anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are some challenges we make. But in 2024 right now, we have the Swahili Summer Camp, which is like 4 weeks. We started like 2 days a week.
Yeah.
When we started, up to, I think, 3 summers ago, we did 6 weeks, 3 days, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Last summer, we did 4 weeks, Monday to Friday. But we know summer camp, we have field trips. It's very fun engaging with kids. Youth networking conference, where we talk about the youth and the opportunity. We talk about networking. We talk about mental health. We talk about financial literacy.
Wow.
But this is not for the kids. Yeah. This is for young adults.
Yeah.
And this is offered to 19, 18 to 27, 30. All the way maybe not 40.
Yeah.
And we share network because that also came to play, to mind where we need to share information. We need to share resources.
Absolutely, yeah.
Who is doing what? How can you benefit from what you're doing? And how can you grow a community as well?
Yeah.
So it's not just the kids, but, the young adults right now. But also we have one new program right now that's a family coordinator.
Okay.
So the family coordinator is going to be working with families. And these are parents that have kids in school. And some of the topic we're going to talk about is like family engagement.
Yes.
Family engagements in school. How do you get involved in your kids' school? And if from us that have been here for a while, our parents, they're busy with time, they have language barrier, they have a lot of, difficult navigating the system itself, but yet the kids have high expectation. Hey, Dad, you didn't show up on my soccer game.
Yeah.
But how do we easy on the parent? How do we not help them navigate through those so that the kid don't feel left around?
Yeah.
So And then we do Swahili Day. You know, Swahili Day is a huge celebration.
Swahili Day is a hit, man. I've heard a lot about Swahili Day. So what's that? Is it kind of like a festival?
Yeah, Swahili Day is a festival, and that came to pass. Like it came to life where, hey, how do we share our culture with everybody else? How do we celebrate it? You know, but also bring capital to our community.
Yes.
Because if you're gonna be vending food, if you're gonna sell food, clothes, anything, we want you to come and and make money. You know, if you like, we have some festival that happen in town.
Yeah.
You know, like some of them they bring a lot of revenue. You know, like food market.
Yeah.
Bringing like 3 or 2 million a year collectively. Yes.
Bro, wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but that
just from the vending?
From the vending. Like
wow.
Somebody selling little tomatoes, onions here, you know, over a year they bring like 1 year they have like 1 million or 2 million.
Wow.
Revenue.
That's very interesting.
So for us, we want to target that. Like, you know, how do we share our culture, you know, promote our culture, but also attract vendors that make money? Because
put some money in the community as well.
Putting money in, if you have a little business you do in your garage, you know, and you want to expose it, you know, if you, you know, and we our family, our people have a lot of hassles.
Yeah,
you know,
and a lot of expertise that is not actually being used because there's no avenues for that.
Yeah, and if you don't have enough resources to like maybe do a brick and mortar, but you do sell, you know, I remember, you know, one of the show you went to and I sold you a shot.
Bro,
you remember that?
It's been a long time coming, man. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, so things like that.
That's incredible, man. That's very inspiring. It's very inspiring to just see the journey that you've been on from that time that we were at Qdoba and you were at your lowest to now you actually not just making a difference in your own life, but actually making a difference in your community. That's very inspiring. And you do have another Marafiki. You have another Swahili Day coming up, right?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. We have a Swahili Day coming up in June 1st.
June 1st of 2024. This year. Yeah.
2024. So, and if you follow up with Lexington, if you're familiar with Lexington, you know, last year when we do Swahili Day, we had a mayor declaration of Swahili Day, actual Swahili Day Lexington. But that comes from Swahili is now the most spoken language here in Lexington. Wow. You know, like
that's gotta be a lot of people that speak it.
So we have also, you know, Kentucky as well is ranked number 4 in resettlement.
Wow.
And most of those people are from South, you know, Central Sahara, you know, African Central Sahara. So we have a lot of representation. We have a lot of community live here, you know. So, but how do we increase representation for them, advocate for them, you know, and just aspire for anything? Like we should, you know, we should have a family that will aspire to be in the government or in business. Wow. You know, with all the population we have, you know, we should have our own insurance companies, you know, or anything like small business or restaurants.
Wow.
You know, those are the things that I see the potential of our community. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. I know if we talk about your story and everything that you've been through, like in detail, it's going to take us weeks.
Yeah.
Because I know your life is a lot of layers, just like most of us lives, you know.
Yeah.
But this has been amazing to just hear a little bit, a tiny piece of your story.
Yeah.
Thanks for making time for us.
Yeah.
Making time for me to come here and talk to you. I am very, very proud of you. If there's one thing I know about Elisha is you are the most kind-hearted, intentional. You know what I'm saying? The most kind-hearted, intentional person that I've ever met. And actually, before we go, I want us to talk about. I know this is the second time we're doing this, guys, so there's no structure. Yeah. So let's bring this back. So I want you to talk to the people that are coming in brand new, right?
Yeah.
And probably going to go through some of the same challenges that we went through.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for them that would make a difference for them to have it maybe easier than how you did? But especially when it comes to finances, because I know a lot of us, we come here and we just have a lot of issues with finances and how to manage it.
Yeah.
It's a complete difference in culture. So how have you been able to navigate that and get to the success that you have? Because I know personally, maybe a lot of people don't know, you've been successful financially even before you started this. Yeah. And you're not starting this for financial success. You already have that. This is just something that you're doing because you're passionate about it.
I think what I would say with that is your mindset. I think like if you have a rich mindset, you know, some of this, it doesn't even, you know, it doesn't have to mean like what's the opportunity there, but just the mindset itself. Because I'll give you my example. I think when it comes to like say financial stability or financial, driven, I don't have the most education. I don't have, I think I'm more of a hustler. I've the type of jobs, I've worked to make sure I'm comfortable, and I build that financial freedom, but also when you add the hustling and the blessing of God on top of that, I think that's a big two thing. So what I would advise, like when you come brand new, the opportunities are endless. Regardless if school is your thing, pursue it to the fullest. One of my job I do apart from my refugee center is, take care of guys with intellectual disability. And that has been successful for me. If you can make comfortable bread, out of, taking care of people, which that did not, didn't need school, but these have come into like me consistent in the business, create a consistent lifestyle, and stick to it. And then, just whatever it is, just be consistent on your thing. And then be disciplined.
Discipline, man, that's a big one.
Yeah, for the longest.
That's a big one.
For the longest, I drove very, very cash car, 3,000, 2,000, but I have 5,000 saved, I'm not going to rush to go in car payments.
You have not.
I know I can afford it. But I'm like,
do I buy that expensive car? Or do I save for my future?
But I also have this mentality of replacing money. If I have $20 that way, how do I replace it? If I know it's not coming with my paycheck, bro, I'm going to do some construction work to replace it. So I've been very disciplined. I live with my dad until I own my own house.
Oh, wow.
So the idea of even me go rent, pay bills, never came to my mind. It's like I'm gonna live with my pay until I own my own. The amount of money I pay in mortgage is less than what I could be renting.
What is the future for Marafiki Center? Where do you want to go? What are some of the things that you need to get to where you're trying to go?
I want to create something that will live beyond me.
Wow. Legacy, man.
Yeah, I don't even call legacy. I look at things like Walmart, and all these big corporations. These people, they have 100-year plan.
Wow.
They know even if they die today, things gonna work. So Marafiki Center, that's what I've seen. Think of it. Like, in Lexington, if we've been here 10-year plus, and we're gonna here now 10 more years, collectively, even the people that we met here, collectively, we have a family that's been here at least 40, 30 years. The Mabika family has been here at least, collectively, at least 30 years in America, in Lexington. So if a community has been here,
that's a long time.
It's a long time, So the contribution it brings in as a community, as a culture, even as a taxpayer, right? So how will we build this community? How do we benefit from that as well? So, and how do we, leave it for the kids? We have kids, we have friends that have kids now, that we just went to high school with. Now they are raising their own kids. So, so that's the future for Africa. It's not even about how much funding we get, how much big we get, but how do we leave, this for the next generation?
Wow. How do we leave this for the next generation? There's no better way to end this, man. I'm very, very, extremely proud of you.
Thank you, my brother, man.
Everybody, thanks so much if you've listened to the whole thing, you are an MVP. MVP, is that what they say? You are an MVP. So thank you for hanging out with me today. And my boy, Elisha, and this has been Life Stories with Mwinda. Until next time, here, same place, at this YouTube channel or Instagram or wherever you're watching from. Peace and blessings, man.